Welcome everybody here. We are at 10 o'clock, so I will go ahead and get things rolling here. So first question, as per the usual, General Counsel, is there a quorum? Perfect. Thank you very much. All right, as usual as well, I'm going to ask you to bear with me while I do some reading here. So good morning. I'm calling to order the September 2025 meeting of the IHCDA Board of Directors. We are meeting pursuant to this board's policy for participation by members of the IHCDA Board of Directors in board meetings by simultaneous electronic communication. This means that only 3 members must be physically present at the site of the meeting, and the remaining members may call in, although we do have a pretty good list of people here, so I appreciate that. There will be an audio feed for the general public so that members of the public can listen to the meeting, and there will be a link to the video recording posted on IHCDA's website next month. At the time the motions are being made, each board member that makes a motion must state his or her first and last name for the record. The votes will then be tallied by roll call. I will now take a roll call of the board of members to confirm members who are present and their location. We'll start with Mark Pasquarella, the designee for the State Public Finance Director, Dan Hughey. I am present and in the room. Greg Pauls.
Present in the room.
Abby Reddy.
Present. Present in the room.
Chad Greiwe.
Present in the room.
Andy Place Sr.
Present remote.
Michael Schottmeyer.
Present in the room.
Tom McGowan.
Present in the room.
Thank you very much. We'll move to item number 1, which is the approval of the minutes from the August 28th, 2025 board meeting. First, I'll ask if there's any questions regarding the minutes. Hearing and seeing none, may I have a motion to approve?
Tom McGowan, move for approval.
I have an approval. Do we have a second?
Greg Pauls, second.
I have a first and a second. Now we'll take roll call. Mark Pasquarella votes aye. Greg Pauls?
Aye.
Abby Reddy?
Aye.
Chad Greiwe?
Aye.
Andy Place Sr.?
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer?
Aye.
Tom McGowan?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Move to section 2, which will be real estate. And we will welcome Emily Castro, who will present the recommendations for non-competitive bond volume 4% tax credits memo. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you. Good morning, board. My name is Emily Castro. I am the Bonded State Tax Credit Specialist for IHCDA. I'm presenting one memo today with a recommendation for funding in the 2026 AB non-competitive bond round. It includes 2 applications for developments that have recently undergone our review process and are requesting 4% low-income housing tax credits, multifamily tax-exempt bond volume, and one is also requesting a development fund loan. All applicants have met 2026-2027 QAP criteria, including Schedule D and the minimum required score. The first development today is the Grove at Pleasant Run. This is the new construction of 160 units of family housing in Indianapolis. TWG is the developer. The Grove at Pleasant Run is requesting $1,944,396 in annual LIHTC and $21,100,000 in bond volume. The second development is Central at Old South Side. This is the new construction of 227 units of family housing in Indianapolis. The developer is Union Development Holdings, LLC. Central at Old South Side is requesting $3,014,286 in annual LIHTC, $33,500,000 in bond volume, and a $500,000 development fund loan. Each of these developments has been described in greater detail in the development summary sheets attached to this memo for the recommendation. Staff recommends the allocation of an aggregate reward of annual 4% LIHTC in the amount of $4,956,682, and an aggregate allocation of bond volume in the amount of $54,600,000, and a development fund loan of $500,000 for these 2 developments. And I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Emily. Board, do we have any questions or comments?
Yeah, absolutely.
Any additional comments, questions? Hearing, seeing none, I believe we will have a resolution.
Okay, I will now read my resolution. Staff respectfully requests that the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve the following. An aggregate award of 4% LIHTC in the amount of $4,958,682, an aggregate allocation of bond volume in the amount of $54,600,000, and an aggregate award of development fund in the form of a loan in the amount of $500,000 to the two developments listed in Table A as more particularly identified in the development summary sheets as recommended by staff.
Thank you, Emily. Board, we have a resolution before us. I will entertain a motion.
Greg Pulse, motion made.
We have a first.
Chad
Is there a
Greiby,
second?
second.
We have a first and a second. We'll start roll call. Actually, I'll start with you. Greg Pauls.
Aye.
Bobby Reddy.
Aye.
Chad Greiby.
Aye.
Andy Place Sr.
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer.
Aye.
Tom McGowan.
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much. All right, we will now welcome Matt Rayburn, who will present the Housing for Persons with Substance Use Disorders Legacy House Indie Memo.
Good
Welcome, Matt.
morning, board. Thank you for having me. I'm Matt Rayburn, Deputy Executive Director and Chief Real Estate Development Officer, and I am pleased to be back this month for our second of what will ultimately be 4 awards under this special initiative. For those of you who were at the August board meeting, you may recall we funded the first project through this special initiative, and at that time I went into much more detail about what this program is. I won't go into as much detail this time since we just did that program overview last month, but we'll of course be happy to answer questions. As a brief reminder on the background, this is a special initiative partnership between IHCDA and the state's Division of Mental Health and Addiction, where DMHA sent us over $10 million of the state's share of the National Opioid Settlement Fund dollars and asked us to specifically use those funds to develop housing that will serve individuals in recovery. As you may recall from last month, I had shared we did an RFP, and long story short, through that RFP, we selected 4 development teams to submit full applications and apply for these funds. So today I'm happy to bring the second of those applications, and that is from Volunteers of America of Ohio and Indiana Incorporated. That is a nonprofit we have done a decent amount of work with, and they do a lot of work in this sphere of kind of substance use, recovery, supportive housing type work. With this specific application, Volunteers of America of Ohio and Indiana is proposing to build 11 new construction single-family homes. These will be done with modular construction and will take place here in Indianapolis on a campus where VOA currently offers other services, including their Fresh Start Recovery Center, which serves pregnant women who are in recovery. So this is continuing to build out that campus of recovery here in Indianapolis by providing these additional new constructed 11 homes. These 11 homes will be following a recovery housing model under what is called the level 3 approach. So recovery housing can be either level 1, 2, 3, or 4. So level 3 is showing that it's on the higher level of services and needs, and they are specifically targeting families in recovery with this housing and services. Services to be provided to these individuals and families will include substance use disorder treatment, peer recovery coaching, mental health care, medical services, including prenatal and pediatric services, parenting classes, and case management services. And I'd be happy to answer any questions about this program or about this particular project.
Board, do we have any? Tom?
Yeah, good question, Tom. So there is a, I don't remember the exact street. I will look it up when I sit back down here in a moment, the exact street. It's, I believe, around, yeah, it's in the near north area of Indianapolis, I believe around 40th Street. They have an existing facility there. The project used to be known as the John P. Crane House, the big building there. Volunteers of America has taken that over, and that's where they're doing the Fresh Start Center already. And then there's existing land behind that where they'll build these 11 units. Yep.
Thank you, Tom. Board, any additional questions, comments? Hearing, Seeing none, Matt, we're ready for the resolution.
Excellent, thank you. Staff respectfully requests that the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve an award of $2,500,000 from the National Opioid Settlement Fund in the form of a grant to Volunteers of America of Ohio and Indiana, Inc. for the construction of 11 Level 3 recovery residence units under the Housing for Persons with Substance Use Disorders Initiative, as recommended by staff.
Thank you, Matt. We have a resolution before us. I will entertain a motion.
Mike Schotmeyer moves for approval.
I have a first. Is there a second?
Bobby
Andy,
Ready,
please second.
We'll do that one to Abby because I think he hit his buzzer first. So we have a first and we have a second. We will now do roll call. Greg Poles.
Aye.
Abby Reddy.
Aye.
Chad Greiwe.
Aye.
Andy Place Sr.
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer. Tom McGowan.
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt.
That's great for 11 families.
We will now welcome Nicole Chapman, who will now present the 2026 Housing Choice Voucher Annual Plan. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Board. My name is Nicole Chapman. I am the Director of the Housing Choice Programs. So every year, we're required by HUD to submit our annual plan and our administrative plan. It has to go out by October 18th to be approved by HUD. So this year, we have made several updates and have attached a summary of those changes in Exhibit A has a summary of all of the changes that we made to our administrative plan. Exhibit B is the summary of all new activities that we plan to partake on. And then Exhibit C is a list of the certifications that we're going to submit to HUD with our annual plan. And then Exhibit D shows all of our local subcontracting agencies that we use for the HCV program. And then Exhibit E shows the metrics as of 9/12/25. The number of families that we serve, how many vouchers we have, the different special programs, our utilization rate, as well as our benchmarks. We recommend that the approval of the Housing Choice Annual Plan to be submitted to HUD. And I'll stop here to see if there is any questions.
Thank you. Board, do we have any questions, comments?
Just one comment. This may be a question, but I always like metrics. In terms of total households served on a run rate on an annual basis, is that number increasing, decreasing, or staying relatively flat? Just from a metric standpoint.
From a metric standpoint, the number may have it's decreased slightly just due to the fact of the funding from HUD, and a lot of housing authorities are going through shortfall and have some challenges in that area. So
That was my assumption, but wanted to ask. Okay.
yeah.
One of the big issues that all public housing authorities right now is that our funds from HUD are pretty stagnant.
Yeah.
But fair market rents are increasing. So with the fair market rent, if we have to pay the landlord, but if the tenant's income is staying flat, then the differential pay and how much subsidy has to be. Our average subsidy per client is going up while our total year after year, we're seeing a reduction.
Completely logical. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I will have one question, or not really a question, but comment. I think it's good and useful for the board to hear when we do look at benchmarks, especially when we're looking at Section 8 and the complexity of the program. We did get rated from HUD, it looks like at the bottom, if I'm reading that correctly, for the year 2024. And if I'm seeing this correctly, we have a final score of 96% and a HUD designation of high performing.
Yes.
So I just want to point that out. I think that's commendable and great work. I mean,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
so I didn't want this to go past without that being mentioned.
It's okay to toot your.
Yeah.
Well,
It kind of glossed over it. I'm like, well, wait a minute here. There is something to discuss here. And
Very important.
yes, very important. So obviously if there's problems there, we would be concerned, but also Tom, your point's well taken. It's sometimes you have to.
Yeah, it's just good for us to know that
Yeah.
that gap and the struggles that ultimately go down to our customer.
Absolutely.
Difficult to hear, but reality.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I feel that's very fair. So thank you very much for your hard work. Any additional comments, questions? If not, with all that fanfare, we are ready for a resolution.
Staff respectfully request the board to approve the following resolution. Resolve that the board approve the 2026 Housing Choice Voucher Annual Plan and Administrative Plan and submission of the plans to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development as recommended by staff.
Thank you. Board, we have a resolution before us. I will entertain a motion. I'll be ready. Motion. We have a first. I'll take a second.
Andy
Tom
Place, second.
Second.
Yeah, we're gonna do Andy Place on this one, so he gets in there. Andy Place has a second. We'll now do roll call. Greg Pauls.
Aye.
Hobby Ready. Aye. Chad Greiwe.
Aye.
Andy Place Senior.
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer.
Aye.
Tom McGowan.
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will now welcome Samantha Spurgill, who will now present the Homebuyer Award recommendations. Welcome, Samantha.
Welcome. Thank you very much. My name is Samantha Spurgill. I'm the Chief Community Programs and Services Officer at IHCDA, temporarily wearing my real estate hat. Here to present funding request for two non-for-profits who have requested funding through the Home Investment Partnerships Program Homebuyer Policy. The first is Habitat for Humanity of Greater Fort Wayne, who applied on June 18th for the new construction of two homes in Huntington, Indiana. The second is through Habitat Development Corporation, LLC, which is the community housing development organization subsidiary of Habitat for Humanity of Greater Indianapolis, who applied on July 21st of this year for the new construction of 3 units in Avon, Indiana, which is the first of a multi-phase subdivision that they are now initiating in Avon. In addition to the construction request, Habitat Development Corporation, LLC, also recertified as a CHODO, the Community Housing Development Organization, and thus are eligible to also request the CHODO operating supplement of an additional $50,000. I will pause in case there are any questions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing, seeing, I thought I heard something. Perfect. At that point, we'll go ahead and take your resolution.
Thank you, and I will have two. The first, resolve that the board approve homebuyer awards in an aggregate amount not to exceed $543,411 to the two developments listed in Table A as recommended by staff.
Board, we have a resolution in front of us. May I take a motion?
Greg Pauls, so moved.
We got a first. Can I get a second?
I'll be ready. Second.
Have a first and a second. We'll move to roll call. Greg Pauls.
Aye.
Hobby Ready.
Aye.
Chad Greiwe.
Aye.
Andy Place Senior.
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer.
Aye.
Tom McGowan.
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. We'll take the second one.
Thank you. Resolved that the board approve a home CHODO operating supplement award in the form of a grant not to exceed $50,000 to Habitat Development Corporation, LLC, as recommended by staff.
Board, we have a resolution in front of us. I will take a motion.
Andy Place, motion for approval.
We have a first. Can I get a second?
Tom McGowan, second.
We have a first and we have a second. We'll move to roll call. Greg Pauls.
Aye.
Hobby Ready.
Aye.
Chad Greiwe.
Aye.
Andy Place Senior.
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer.
Aye.
Tom McGowan.
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, we'll move on to the third section, which will be community programs. I believe you're going to stay up here with us. So Samantha will now present the 2025-2026 Individual Development Account, IDA, Tax Credit Allocation Approval Memo.
Yeah, thank you so much. As you may remember, we previously had an open application process to award out both our individual development accounts as well as our individual development account tax credits. That application originally opened May of this year with applications due in June. We did not receive a high number of requested accounts specifically for our tax credit side. And so we did reopen the application cycle in August with applications due September 5th. In total, IHCDA received requests for 60 accounts among 9 IDA tax credit administrators. All of the 9 agencies were vetted and were determined that they were eligible. A listing of those tax credit awarding agencies are listed in Table A. Happy to pause and answer any questions from the board.
Board, any questions, comments?
Good question. Since
Absolutely.
You know, I like metrics. Had low applicants. So give us some context in terms of that.
So
What-
this,
And then number 2, what we do to that interest.
absolutely. So this is the first year that I am aware of in which we have not allocated 100% of our tax credit award. In the past, we, on our IDA accounts, separate from the tax credit, we have generally awarded through this process with board approval, the majority of those accounts. The tax credits are an additional layer of complexity because you do
Right.
have to raise the funding. We will have about 11 accounts that are unawarded, and so we will open up those
Good.
accounts, correct, for our entities that are awarded that are high performers. We did reach out to all of our applicants over the last 3 years to solicit additional applications, of which we did receive, which was positive. I think because of the complexity of the tax credits and the timing, I think they're a little bit more difficult to use, but our utilization rate is really high for the number of successful accounts that our administrators throughout the state are able to utilize.
So it sounds like this is really the first trough we've
Correct.
hit, and we're doing everything we can
Yes.
to paddle that number.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
that was.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And there's no additional red tape or anything we're adding to it. It's just we're
No.
doing the metrics as much as we can.
Correct.
Trying to get the word out there. So we are truly doing everything we
Yes,
can to get-
and we did make updates to our policy specifically to eliminate any red tape to ensure that we are meeting the state code that was approved in
Mhm.
this last budget cycle, and to ensure that our manual is really based on best practices instead of regulatory tape. And so I think, we have monthly meetings with all of our IDA administrators to ensure that we are meeting their needs and that the accounts are being used to meet, again, that criteria is set out by the legislature.
Good. I like the back and forth and communication. That way we were making sure we're doing everything we can do. And of course, we areas that pop up that could be problematic, we can handle that in real
Absolutely.
time. So I appreciate your effort on that.
Yeah.
All right. So we've done the questions, I
I'm
believe.
sorry, Mark, I've got another question.
Oh, please.
So that money, if it's not used, can that be transferred to other programs, or is that specific to this?
Is specific to this program.
Okay.
So we would, again, work to reallocate those additional accounts to those high-performing administrators. If we were not able to reuse those funds within the 2-year cycle, that would revert back to the state.
Sounds
you.
promising though, based on what
Yes,
you're saying,
correct.
which is good.
Okay, that's all I have.
Perfect. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I was ready to move on. I will pause here for one more second in case anyone else wants to jump in with any questions or comments. Hearing and seeing none, I'm ready for a resolution.
Thank you. Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolve that the board approve allocating IDA tax credits in an aggregate amount not to exceed $168,750 to the applicants as set forth in Table A as recommended by staff.
Thank you. Board, we have in front of us. I will entertain a motion.
Greg Pulse, so moved.
I have a first. Can I get a second?
Meyer, second.
I have a first and a second. We'll move to roll call. Greg Pauls,
Aye.
Bobby Reddy,
Aye.
Chad Greiwe,
Aye.
Andy Place Senior,
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer,
Aye.
Tom McGowan,
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. We'll move to the fourth section, which will be community services, and we will welcome Kristen Garvey, who will now present the Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS 2025-2026 Program Year Funding Allocations Memo. Welcome, Kristen.
Thank you, and good morning, board. And as was mentioned, my name is Kristen Garvey. I'm the Director of Community Services, and I am here to request approval of the 2025-2026 program allocations for housing opportunities for persons with AIDS, or what we call HOPWA. This program provides assistance for low-income individuals and their families who are living with HIV or AIDS. HOPWA can be used to provide such things as long and short-term rent, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, housing information, supportive services, and permanent housing placement services. IHCDA's HOPWA funding is part of the consolidated plan, and the amount we receive is determined by a formula process from HUD. The program covers 78 of the state's 92 counties, and service providers have 3 years to spend the funds. IHCDA staff accepted applications between June 27th and July 28th, 2025, and received 8 applications. All but one of those applications are being submitted for approval today. The 8th project did not meet the threshold requirement that they must be a non-medical case management provider, which is a designated that is given by the Indiana Department of Health. Or they could have had a formal agreement with such an organization, but this organization did not. So the staff is recommending that the board approve the awarding amounts that are outlined in Table A for the 2025 and 2026 program year. And if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Questions, comments?
Pleased to see that 2 of the largest awards are south of Interstate 70. As the lone member
Thought you would like
from
that.
Southern Indiana.
Thank you, Michael. Any additional questions, comments? Hearing, seeing none. We'll move for your resolution.
Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approves awarding an aggregate amount of HOPWA funds in an amount not to exceed $2,170,406.04 to the applicants as set forth in Table A for the 2025-2026 program year as recommended by staff.
Board, we have a resolution in front of us. I'll take a motion.
Move for approval, Mike Schotmeyer.
I have a first. Can I get a second?
Greg Paul's second.
I have a first and a second. We'll move to roll call. Greg Pauls,
Aye.
Bobby Reddy,
Aye.
Chad Greiwe,
Aye.
Andy Place Senior,
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer,
Aye.
Tom McGowan,
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
We will now welcome Jim Flatford, who will now present the Emergency Solutions Grant Fiscal Year 2025-2026 Allocations Memo. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you very much, and good morning, board. I am here with a ESG grant allocation request. This funding comes directly from HUD and is done on a formula basis. With this funding, we can fund 5 different categories of activities. That is emergency shelter, street outreach, rapid rehousing, homeless prevention, and administration. IHCDA has $3,651,905.49 to award for this program year. We had a total of 71 agencies apply, and these applications were scored using a number of criteria like board of directors involvement, financial management, program services and coordination, utilization on previous grants, local poverty rate, and programmatic outcomes of previous funding. I'm here recommending funding for 98 of these projects. And you can find the allocations for each of those programs in Exhibit A. The locations for these programs are on Exhibit B in your packet. And I'll pause here for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
So, quick question.
Yes.
Being involved in homelessness state, you not being able to really categorize this off the primary category. Give us a rough idea of the pie of those various categories of how these dollars are ultimately being allocated off those 71 agencies.
Sure.
Off the categories you described that the program really.
Yeah, and those are listed within the memo. We're looking to the majority of it goes 60% goes to shelter and outreach. That is our cap.
Okay.
For that.
You have a cap. I didn't
Yes.
understand that. Okay.
Yep. Sorry, I probably should have had that included here. The remaining amounts go to homeless prevention and rapid rehousing. So rental assistance and helping.
So it's really that 60/40.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? Hearing, seeing none, I'll take the resolution.
All right. Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve awarding an allocation of all available 2025-26 program year emergency solutions grant funds in an aggregate amount not to exceed $2,253,527 for the shelter program, $115,000 for the outreach program, $963,897.73 for rapid rehousing, and $319,480.73 for homeless prevention to the organizations as set forth in Exhibit A, as recommended by staff.
Thank you, Jim. Board, we have a resolution before us. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll be ready. Motion to approve.
I have a first. Can I get a second?
Greg Paul's second.
I have a first and a second. We'll do roll call. Greg Pauls.
Aye.
Bobby Ready.
Aye.
Chad Greiwe.
Aye.
Andy Place Senior.
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer.
Aye.
Tom McGowan.
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move from community services and move to the fifth section, which will be finance. And we will welcome Richard Harcourt, who will now present the Eastfield Reserve Bond recommendation. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you. Good morning, board. I have two requests. They're both very similar, right? We're going to be asking for the authority to issue tax exempt financing as the issuer for two multifamily projects. This is non-recourse and this is conduit. This doesn't sit on our balance sheet. So we're going to start with Eastfield Reserve. Director Schottmeyer, we're going to start in Evansville, is our serve Indiana. This is a Eastfield Reserve comes out of the 2026 AB round. You all approved this in last month's board meeting. 3200 North Burkhart Road at 60% AMI. It's 256 units. New construction, family, Marion Development Group requesting 30,300 in tax exempt issuance.
Thank you, Richard. Any questions or comments?
Just a clarification, worked on this project, but I have no financial interest at all, but I've worked on this project as a lawyer. I assume I can vote. Should I just abstain just to be safe? Can't remember what I did last month. I can abstain just to be safe. Like, yeah, I'm just going to abstain, but I will tell you, this is a great project.
Going to Evansville and you're abstaining.
Yeah.
We will note the abs.
Was he allowed to make that?
No, I won't.
Strike it from the record.
I feel that's his personal view and reflects his personal view only, not the reflection of the board. Thank you for your comments, Michael, and duly noted both on that you will abstain and also that you worked on the project and the good news that went with it. So, all right, we then have any questions or comments for Richard at this point? Hearing and seeing none, at that point, we were ready for the resolution.
Thank you. Resolved that the board approve the Series 2025 multifamily housing revenue notes, parentheses, Eastfield Reserve, close parentheses, pursuant to the resolution attached here to as Exhibit A, as recommended by staff.
Thank you, Richard. We have a motion on the floor.
Tom McGowan, move for approval. Sounds like a great project.
We have a first. Can I get a second?
Greg Paul's second.
We have a first and a second. We'll go through roll call. Greg Pauls.
Aye.
Bobby Ready.
Aye.
Chad Greiwe.
Aye.
Andy Place Senior.
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer will abstain. Tom McGowan.
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. And you'll stay with us here, Rich, and you'll now present the City Heights bond recommendation.
Thank you, board. This is the same thing as the last, right? We're asking for additional tax exempt issuance. This one is taking a little bit more of a circuitous route. So this is located in Indianapolis. You all as a board approved this project in September of 22, and you approved the tax exempt financing in November of 22. But as this project has come to completion and is close to going in service, in order to fund some cost overruns and to meet the 50% test, meaning that 50% of the project has to be financed tax exempt, they've asked for an additional $3 million in tax exempt financing. Typically, we would do that in our delegation authority. We have the ability to approve up to 20% more. But because the initial bonds have already been issued and this is a separate issuance, Bond Council has asked that we do a separate resolution around it. So sort of the same thing, only different. But the request is for $3 million in additional issuance. It's 200 units at 60%, or 195 units or 60% AMI. 5 of those units are 50% AMI. It's multifamily. It's new construction. PEDCor is the developer. I will pause for questions.
Any questions or comments?
So that percent increase is what?
Roughly 10%. 10%? Yeah, 10%. 3 million on 30 million.
Okay.
No, for the record, on a lot of 22 projects, this is what we encountered. Pedcor is a fabulous developer. They've done a great job. Long history across the state. So I mean, it's not uncommon on 20. That just was the period that the cost of everything went through the ceiling.
Certainly have seen it on other
And
projects.
then some.
More than 10%, right?
Any additional questions or comments? Hearing, seeing none. Rich, we'll take your resolution.
Resolved that the board approve the Series 2025 multifamily housing subordinate revenue bonds City Heights apartment homes project pursuant to the resolution as attached hereto as Exhibit A and is recommended by staff.
Thank you, Rich. We have a resolution before us. Can I entertain a motion?
Move for approval, Mike Schotmeyer.
We have a first. Can I get a second?
Greg Paul, second.
We have a first and we'll have a second. We'll move to the roll call. Greg Pauls.
Aye.
Bobby Reddy.
Aye.
Chad Greiwe.
Aye.
Andy Place Sr.
Aye.
Michael Schotmeyer. Tom McGowan.
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Board Chair, may I have a moment for a few additional comments, please?
Floor is yours, Rich.
Thank you. So this is my last board meeting. I will be retiring October 1. And if I look at the calendar,
Have we approved that?
It has not been approved, but I've been told I cannot stop it.
well, I think that's going to happen. And here's what I want to say to you all. I've been on a lot of boards. I've served on boards. I have reported to a lot of boards. And this is as fine a board as I've ever been involved with. You all are just terrific. You have a great understanding of our business and our mission. And that's illustrated by your comments and your questions. I have particularly enjoyed the questions that you all have asked. They've been thoughtful. They've been insightful. They demonstrate, right, that you know what we're doing, and that's appreciative. You've been very supportive of our programs. You've been passionate about your service. And more importantly to me, right, when there's been times for challenging conversations, you all have been very easy to talk to, right? We've wrestled with some parity issues in our bond resolution and other things. And it's been very easy to approach you as a board and have those conversations and find resolutions. So Indiana has been well served by your stewardship. I wish you nothing but the best going forward. And I thank you for allowing me to serve you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the record, taxpayers of the state of Indiana, everyone has been so benefited by the service. Rich has been, yeah, I mean, you can't put it in words. It'll be hard to replace someone of his stature and experience. Just his work for Indiana is exemplary.
And your banking knowledge has obviously been a help to this one.
Any questions or comments?
So all of that. Thank you for.
Thank you as well, Rich. We will then move on to IHCDA updates. Please do.
Well, I was going to share at the end about Rich's retirement, but Rich has said it. I've had the pleasure of working with Rich over the last few years under his leadership, and just give a little bit of perspective with Rich and the impact he has had on the state from the homeownership side. Rich set out to set a legacy of helping individuals and Hoosiers throughout the state obtain home ownership and be able to build a legacy through that. And I remember Rich saying, you know, we could get that indenture to $1 billion. That would be a huge, huge effort and accomplishment. Not only did Rich crush this, we are well over $2 billion now. But more importantly, that $2 billion translates into over 15,000 homebuyers helped in the state of Indiana since 2019. Rich, without your leadership, your dedication and hard work, that would have never happened. So I think I can speak for the board and IHCDA. Thank you. Thank you very much. Excellent job. Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah, I was waiting to do my comments and other business, but while we're enjoying this, I'll just keep it going so we can make these comments. What I talk about, Rich, yeah, obviously what I'd like to talk about, number one, obviously people have already hit it, professionalism and the knowledge of his business. But most importantly, he runs a very complex and niche part of the bond market. It's not one that's talked about in graduate schools or even in undergrad schools. I mean, it's very niche related. He understood it. He became an expert. But most importantly, what I appreciated is being part of the Indiana Finance Authority. And I know I speak for Dan Hughey as well, being the public finance director for the state of Indiana, being involved to understand what is going on, what the situation is for each bond issuance, what the challenges are, how we're going to navigate the challenges, the different options for any of the challenges we did have, how we could exploit opportunities so we can get more people in the homes. All that was a process. That's not done just one time. That's not just done 1 week. It's not done with just one issue. He was in constant communication with us. And because of that, I really felt like we got to understand the issues and we really got to make the best decisions for the Hoosiers. And I think that that is exemplary of great government service, as we've all talked about, but it's also well-functioning government. It's when you have people who are behind the scenes challenging or dealing with the challenges that are coming our way, but it's that communication. It's that structure, it's that culture that we're going to collaborate that really made it work terrifically. And so my hat's off to you. It's very easy to sit there and say, well, I'm just going to sit in my room or my own people. I'm not going to share these issues, but you shared them openly. And because of that, I think we always moved IHCDA in the right direction. So I really, by my heart, appreciate it. And I think all Hoosiers should as well. So thank you, Rich. I appreciate it. My pleasure. And you will be missed. And we will look for the new CFO to fill some very big shoes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Rich. I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, sir. First off, just to make the board aware, if there was a government shutdown, some questions about that right now out of DC, IHCDA will continue to operate as normal. We will continue to accept federal program draws and process claims as we normally do. Business hours will be maintained. And if there are any communications that need to be done, we will make that with our partners, our stakeholders, as well as the board, just to make you aware of that. And if you don't mind, I'd like to share some kudos for some of the members of the team. I think it's important that they get recognized and the board hears of the excellent work that's taking place with the team members here at IHCDA. The first one I want to recognize is Sarah Fisher. She's new to our home ownership department. She's been there just probably about a month now, but Sarah has gone in full force and she is currently working on our program guides for our home ownership programs. There are various guides out there. She is taking these and consolidating them down into one universal program guide that'll be easier to obtain and understand with our participating lenders, our realtors, or the constituents or anybody else that needs information on these programs. So kudos to Sarah and her hard work on that. The next individual I'd like to share is Henry Lowry. He is in our energy assistance program. Henry has bombarded me with over 260 memorandums of agreements to get energy assistance out and make sure that everything's being followed properly by our partners. Yeah, I've got a little bit of a sore wrist from signing all those. But Henry has done such an efficient and excellent job. Back in 2023, during the previous cycle, these were continuing all the way up into November and December. We are finishing that up right now as we speak. So I just wanted to point out the excellent job that Henry has done on this. The last two follow under great leadership of Matt Rayburn. The first is Alan Rakowski, who I'm sure you're all familiar with. Alan and his team have been going through the reviews of approximately 70 applications for the tax credit and bond rounds. They are ahead, and you're going to see those probably next month. But Alan does such an efficient job with this that there's no hesitation, there's no questions, and it's just he makes it look so easy on such a complicated piece. So that'll be coming up, and I just want to recognize Alan and his team. And then the last one, as Mark, as you pointed out, the 96% piece with HUD on our rating, it would be Nicole Chapman and Crystal Ivy. My travels throughout the state, no matter where I go, two individuals' names constantly pop up. That's Nicole and Crystal. Just on their excellent work, their customer serviceness, their willingness to listen and respond. The other execs, I believe, would agree with me. Those are two names that regularly are shared. And I just want to point them out and give them kudos for the excellent job and say thank you. So with that, one more time, Rich, thank you. Thank you for all you're doing. Thank you for your mentorship. That's all I've got for today. Thank you, board.
Any additional questions or comments for Tom? Seeing none, then we'll move to 6, other business. Any other business? Seeing none, then at that point, I believe we will conclude. Godspeed, Rich. And then we conclude. We don't need a resolution ending, do I? 10:47, IHCDA meeting is officially over. Thank you very much, everybody.